So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight.
Yes, sir.
Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
Go ahead.
Let me check. Hope you're doing well in the meantime. Let's see. Can you hear me loud and clear? Let's see. Apparently.
Can you hear me loud
Yes, you
and
can.
clear?
That's beautiful. Thank you for the like. Whoever hit that like button, make sure to hit that like button. It doesn't kill. It doesn't hurt. It's free of charge. I hope you're doing well, brothers and sisters. Welcome to this live stream. There is something that I really want you to hear. That's what prompted me to come up with this live stream, impromptu live stream. It was not planned. I heard someone say something, and he is a Bible maniac, and he has some questionable logic. So you will hear his statement from the horse's mouth, and then I will make my observation about it. Now, it will not be long. Before that, you've just heard the teachings of the Nation of Islam that teaches that, I don't know where I got that from. As you heard, and for those who haven't heard, you can watch the beginning of the broadcast, or you can click on the link that says Shabazz Malediction in the description box. They are teaching that we rebelled against God, and that first we didn't have kinky hair, and because we rebelled against God, we went to live in the jungles of East Asia, and that's when we had kinky hair. So our broad nose, thick lips, and kinky hair is the essence of ugliness, because the essence of beauty lies in obedience, and the essence of ugliness lies in disobedience. Now, so that was Louis Farrakhan in 1992, and this is their teaching. He said himself, this is what Elijah Muhammad taught. So you have on the Abrahamic side, on the Christian side, the curse of Ham or curse of Canaan. On the Islamic side, when it comes to the unorthodox Muslims of the Nation of Islam, you have this curse of black people. Now, listen to this.
They're Christian,
Let's
brother.
get to the nitty.
And because for 7 years I've been teaching that I don't think this Jesus guy exists. I've been trying my best to prove it and everything, but the reality is there's a core person that's behind the storyline that's in the New Testament. I'm not saying for you to believe Jesus walked on water and all of that stuff. I'm saying that there's a core person, and you could tell. I'm gonna give a quick example. When he went into the temples and turned the temples over, is that a story of a person that's not real? No. That's a real story. He went into the temples and turned it over because of the money changers. I think there was gambling or whatever. That's not a story of a myth. That's a real story. But if the writers, you see, all the stories in the New Testament are already in the Old Testament, the miracles. So when you hear walking on water, go to the Jonah story. When you hear raising from the dead, go to Elisha or Elijah. When you hear about him feeding 5,000 people, go to Elisha. He fed 100 people with a small amount of food too. So they were trying to make Jesus bigger and better than the prophets of the Old Testament. So let's not pay attention. Leave the supernatural alone. We need to learn how to read the Bible and understand it. Stop trying to look and say copycat and all this copycat stuff, because there's real stories in there. Whether they got influenced by the mystery religions and Roman religions and Mithraism, that's another story for another time. But there's a core Jesus. And I'm going to ask you too, Sonetta, would somebody make up a story of Jesus going into the temple and turning over the tables? Is that a story of a myth? No, it's a real person.
All right, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. Garfield on a wide field. Now, before I say anything further, I don't hate the guy. And now I can see how much he needs help in terms of his thought process. I have put questionable logic, but really he's just lacking logic, period. So we've heard him say that the story of Jesus, that's from the Bible, for those who don't know. The story of Jesus, where he chased some of those people who were doing something with money. That's a real story. See, in his brain, in the brain of Apostle Garfield, because the story is not supernatural, then it's real. Why is it real? Because it's written in the Bible. That's his logic. The walking on water, that's supernatural. That's what we should not take literal. But Jesus getting angry in the temple, that's a real story, according to Apostle Garfield. So if we use this logic, and let's say we take the story of Spider-Man, with some that have some supernatural events, superpowers, and all that kind of things. But you have also some accounts, some part of the story that is completely human. Human. So I guess we could argue as well that Spider-Man was real. Is that fair or is it not fair? We could do the same with Superman. We could do the same with all kind of action heroes. Well, Black Panther as well. Wakanda as well. See, I told you, this guy has something strange. It must be the love of the cross, the love of Jesus. No more logic. No more logic. Now, Christian people do believe in the Bible. They believe it's the word of God. We're dealing with history right here. So, because we have an account of Jesus' life on some writing that is not even from the time period of Jesus, that is not even in the language of Jesus, because the Gospels were written by Greek speaking people, who's going to argue that the apostles were speaking Greek, let alone writing Greek? So we have some story that come decades after the fact, after the life period of Jesus, if he existed, and because it says so and so, and it's real. What kind of logic is that? So, what else could I say? That kills me. Really, that kills me. That's extraordinary. So now we can validate any story, any tale, any account just because it's written, no matter how many years later it comes up. So I can write today a story about myself, and then I said that happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and I did this and I did that. But that story will be true because I wrote it, because it's written. It's just plain ridiculous. Let me. Okay. That's why he was complaining. Apostle Garfield was complaining that we use the Kemet writings when it comes to Kemet history, and he said, "Why can't we use Jesus' writing for Jesus?" That's what he wants to do. See, at the end of the day, understand one thing. When you hear people say, "Well, we don't find anything outside of the Bible," it's not merely, you see, Beverly Gunn wrote no logic at all. Now, just to be clear, are you saying that regarding Garfield or myself? Because people have the right to disagree with me. I was having some connection issue, but we'll see it here. So Beverly Gunn, if you don't mind, let us know who that is directed to. That statement, no logic at all. If is it directed at me or at Apostle Garfield? Because people have the right to disagree with me, it's fine. So any questions that you have, brothers and sisters, no matter the topic or the title, or what I'm talking about currently, feel free. When people talk about the fact that we don't find anything outside of the Bible, it's not because they just want to outright dismiss biblical writings. It is mainly because we don't have writings contemporaneous to the events that are recorded. And when it comes to history, it is a crucial issue. And now, there's something that I've shared. What's the title again? Okay, I know how to find it. I'll find it real quick for you. Please hit the like button. So Beverly Gunn has clarified that she was talking about Apostle Garfield when she wrote No Logic at All. There is. There's this video here that I am recommending. You can call it the hypothesis. And it was a brother Inspired One who told me about this. Now, this is a documentary made from a book entitled Caesar's Messiah. So, recommendation. Caesar's Messiah. Not checking the spelling. I want to flow. I have shared it in the chat. I recommend all of you to watch this documentary. And we have some very interesting hypotheses. Now, of course, the Christians will not agree. But there's the issue of who wrote the Gospels, the time period. Who was it beneficial to? They talk about the fact that the Jewish people had some messianic type of prophecy. And the Judeans, let's say, the Judeans were fighting against Rome because Rome had control of the area. Rome had Judea on lock. It was their turf. But when you read the accounts of the Gospels, the Romans are not seen in such a bad light. Remember, for those of you who have seen the movie about the life or the tale, the account of Jesus Christ, Pontius Pilate, he doesn't even want to have Jesus Christ murked in the first place. There's that famous sentence from Yeshua where he says, "Render to Caesar what belongs to Caesar." Now I'm paraphrasing, it might not be the exact phrase. I know it in French, but hey. On parle anglais, non? N'est-ce pas? On parle anglais ou pas? Yes, we speak in English, isn't it? So, I don't want to spoil. I'm not recommending that you watch that documentary because of those few things that I've said. There are so many things said that are very interesting. And what I like is the issue of the timeline. Because we're talking about history. So history can be synonymous with chronology. You can't come up in 2020 and have a book written in 2020 talking about major events that took place 50 years ago and nobody recorded nor mentioned those events 50 years ago. And many times people think that because it was so long ago, recording things. That is not the case. That is not the case. So slowly but surely, we'll get some clarity. But you have some fence riders who, while at the same time they are saying that we need to get out of this Abrahamic slavery, mental slavery, yet they are apostles. They are Christian apologists. And that's a problem. And at the same time, they have the nerve to call people Egyptomaniacs. It wasn't the first. It wasn't done once. And they'll try to be slick by talking about the supernatural tales of Kemet. The supernatural tales. That's what they like to do. As if we didn't have records for all kinds of individuals. Just today, I uploaded a statue, the video of a statue showing a scribe 2000 years BC, 4000 years ago. It happens that we don't have a name for that scribe. But guess what? For most of the videos that I upload, you have artifacts that are dated 1000 BC, 1500 BC, 2000 picked ancient. Their historicity doesn't come into question by religion or by supernatural events. Their historicity is not established now. We have Apostle Garfield's comedy show with his thought process that you have it. That's what, when he said primaries, I wonder what he thinks primary means. Did someone ask him for the record of John the Baptist? What was his quote again? John the Baptist is real because he's confirmed by who did he say? Go back to it. And or did he say because he's confirmed by did someone ask him for original for the Apostle John? Oh my. Now those who really feel free. What could in after the quote, I didn't find it. But I was looking for coffin, that's why. And easy. Oh. Okay. So as you can see, is the history of ancient Egypt. Seems like the connection Oxford History of Ancient Egypt. And let's go to the actual part. that I was referring to, if we start on page 20, because the actual quote is on page 21. Is it showing on the screen there? Oh, okay. Let's make this bigger. I hope you can see it on the screen. Paralytic. Okay, there's only one sentence that you would not be. Oh, yeah. Something is wrong. Okay. So it says during the life of the Paleolithic, the Tarasman, the Taramsan, sorry, there was a clear tendency to the actual process of made possible. Okay, well, it was done finally. Now you can see the whole page. So, a virtually continuous process of blade production made it possible to create a large number of blades from each core. An impressive extraction and production site of this date near Quena, it can be observed that there was increasing interest in blade production. Systems led to be utilized during the Upper Paleolithic. Similar assemblage have been identified in the Negev, and then I have to, where the transition from Levallois flaking at the site of Boker Tashit around 45,000 BP. BP stands for before present. A burial of an anatomically modern child at Taramsa I or Taramsa I is associated with the late Middle Paleolithic. This burial is probably the oldest grave that has so far been identified in Africa. This is a quote that I wanted to share with you, and it's written on page 21 from that book. Oxford History of Ancient Grave that has so far been identified in Africa. Because it was a live stream and question was raised about where do ancient Egyptians come from, possibly from the south, but the more recent. And here we have name, dates, and places. We have the location. We have 45,000 BP. And we are told this is probably the oldest grave has so far been identified in Africa. I'm not saying it's the oldest grave ever in Africa, but it's possibly. We have to deal with what the data allows us to say. There's another one that is older, and so be it. Maybe ever since that book was released, some new findings have been made. But that's just for the record. Some people might think that the place was just empty and there was nothing until people from the south came north, but maybe around 10,000 BC or so. But upon wasn't the case. So now, so I've done this. So feel free, brothers and sisters, if you have any statements, to thank brother initiated, no, sorry, brother inspired one. He's the one who put me up to this documentary that I've shared in the chat. And don't forget to watch that video. This is my documentary. Also, that one, you will learn a lot. So called my connection is just playing up. So white Semi's Black Awakening has been shared. One didn't go is the one called Deception as a Black Man. I'm showing it right now. It's a bit slow. It's a bit slow. I wonder if you can hear well now. Probably you can. Now, that one, bad people being cursed, according to the Asiatic Black Man teaching. I'm sharing it in the chat as well. And don't forget to hit that like button. And if you have any comments on the day, a full hieroglyphic sign list. I'm sharing it in the chat right now. If there's anything on your mind, then feel free. Just came from work. I felt like addressing that thing because in terms of logic and methodology, when I told you that the level is low, well, you have a clear example right now. Apparently now we have a true story, we have a real story just because it's written, no matter how many years or how many decades or how many centuries later. Brace yourself, buckle up, and look out, because we will have many claims about all sorts of writings. Freddy Krueger, Jason from Friday the 13th, And many other tales will be validated as long as it is in writing. Harry Potter is coming next as well. We will have some Harry Potter maniac who will be apostles of Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Oh man. Is it so difficult to make the distinction between theology and history? If we have records, I don't know it all. Maybe there are records. If we have any, let us know. Give us the date. Give us the location of the record of the artifact. Name dates and places. It's not difficult. I think it's a good start. And that doesn't apply to a particular belief system or culture or country or continent. That can apply everywhere or anywhere. All right. So, brothers and sisters, stay safe, stay healthy. And I will definitely have it back at you later. Hotep. Oh, hold on. Let me hit you with the outro.